Hello, it's Martin here with Danny. After our last game of the season, we lost 2-1 against Dorchester, last-minute goal, but thoughts on the game?
Yeah, like I said, what was a dead rubber for us, I felt we gave it the best go as we physically could. I felt first half we were the better side. I thought we controlled much of the first half. Young Alex didn't have, a lot to do. Second half, I felt they started a lot brighter. I thought when Dawes come on, I thought he was probably the game changer for them. But we seemed to, be well and truly in the game, and silly sending off, silly second yellow card, and then kind of like his back's against the wall then, and Jose, there's a stone wall penalty on Jose when he's through one-on-one, didn't get given. 30 seconds later, of course, you see them types of penalties get given all the time, don't you? But like I said, it's not about obviously what's happened with us today. It's about the course of the season and everything like that. And to have over 800 in here, I've got to say fair play to the Dorchester fans. They made it for a great atmosphere in here. And yeah, like I said, we've got lots to look forward to, lots of planning, more planning to go over the summer, and really get our teeth into it. Because I feel like now, especially with the 23s and everything like that, we've got a great building block to, try and get this football club where it needs to be.
Indeed, mate. And as you mentioned, you gave Alex Braidwood his debut today in goal, and young lad did really well.
Brilliant. Like I said, we told him first he'd die. I think, for want of a word, I think he's bumping out a little bit. But it just shows you how important that's been, the 23s to this football club now, because you've got, Alex made his full debut today, Kieran McNally, he's played, James Tomlinson, Cam Squires, Brad Passy, all good young local players. Like I said, we have to grow our own. We haven't got riches, so we need to grow our own, and they're definitely our own, and they're a massive part of this football club. And I couldn't be any more prouder of Chase, Ian, and Chris winning their league, first time of asking. And yeah, like I said, they're going to be the bottom, of the pyramid, or the base, the strong base of the house that we are going to build on. Yeah,
indeed. And going back to the game, you mentioned great goal to get us in the lead. Curtis Angel pops up again.
I think it bobbled in it, every part of his knee and everything like that, and it goes in, doesn't it? But
typical Curtis finish.
Yeah, exactly that. But it's mark of the man. Obviously, he's come back from Basingstoke and he's been outstanding. I do. I mean it. Like I said, when people like Jordan Rose, him, Tuzi, getting George Smith back, Rafa Ramos, people like that, and absolutely with everybody that stayed as well, they turned the season around. And what could have been a lot bit different today. We wasn't worried. We got to the end of the season. Yes, obviously we'd like something to play for at the top end, but obviously we didn't have anything to play for, obviously, with the bottom end. So, there's some big teams that have gone down. You only have to see that, So, yeah, no, I'm really pleased, and general pleased with the season. Obviously, I always want more, Martin. You know what I'm like. Yeah. The big thing for me is that every person that was in here today, can we back it as much as we can over the summer? We need as much funds as physically possible. I don't want anybody sat behind keyboards and things like that. I want people here spending money. I need people here, trying to back this football club as big as it can, because I do feel that next season we have a wonderful base for first team players, and if we can, like I said, get the funds in over the summer, I feel that we can be a force to be reckoned with in this league.
Yeah, indeed, there's lots of events going on, especially in May and June, so keep an eye on our social media channels, I'd say.
Absolutely, and like I just said, I don't want people sat at home and keyboard warriors that will sit there and go, moan at this and moan at that. And I just feel like we need to, back the football club. It's a football club that's close to everybody's heart. It's a community football club. It's a football club that everybody loves coming to. But also it's a football club that wants to try and progress again, and that's what we need. It's every non-league club needs money, and we're no exception. But we need people here, like I said, to back absolutely everything. And I know Chris, you, committee, Gemma, absolutely everybody's working so hard, and make sure, like I said, everything's backed. Everybody who comes through the door spends money, and let's make it a good summer, so that gives us a good platform for the start of next season.
Yeah, and a final mention, you mentioned it before, but our fans today, I know Dorchester probably bought about 250, but there's lots and lots of Hungerford here today, and they're all right behind the team.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the reason why I do it. Like I said, I want to try and make people happy. I want to try and make people smile. You only have to look at all the juniors that are here today getting signed shirts and taking boots off players, and like I said, the disconnect I felt 5 years ago with this football club was pretty big, but now I do feel like you say it's one big happy family, and the fans are one of the most important reasons why we do football. And they come out, and I think it's no fluke. Over last 6-7 games we've had over 500 now mark, and that just shows you that we are moving in the right direction. We've got a first team here that people believe in, which is a big part thing. We've got 23s that are champions, so they, like I said, so it is a good time to be at Hungerford Town, and definitely a good time to support this football club.
Yeah, indeed, mate. Well, unlucky today, but a great end to the season, mate. I think we all thoroughly enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see the team again next year.
Absolutely, roll on next year.
Thanks, mate.